packing in another top 8. And now, here we got Cristobal Abril against Pedro, Dores, Scam, Reanimator, Grixis, Delver. Both players still undefeated in the tournament, 7-0-1. Both decided to play in the 7th round and then probably took a draw and then played it out in the last round. We don't know. And
Cristobal Abril, Spanish modern champion.
from everything I've heard, he's basically won everything that ever existed in Spain.
It's a lot. And we got asked that if Talay did not play, he did play in the tournament and he lost almost against Mengucci in the early rounds.
So let's see how that's going to go. Turn 1 Delver, never a bad start. Falling up with the bubble, probably going to crack that on the opponent's turn to get 2 looks on the Delver. Pedro, on the other hand, is he going to do the Javier special and just like, no, not surveying on the first turn?
Oh, that's a nice basic island.
Dude, I love that one so much. That's probably one of my favorite ones of all time. And I thought those were cheap. I remember those being like €8 or something. And I said I want to buy like 25 of them. And then Chad later mentioned this is like €50 plus.
Yeah,
like, okay.
Those, the Guru lands and the Venezia land is like over the roof.
Wait, Venice is also like very expensive?
It's maybe 200?
Oh. Okay, yeah, but Guru Lands is like something else, right?
Yeah.
Guru Lands is completely out of this world.
500 the Venice lands.
500? Okay, never mind.
Okay, yeah. Here, one of the people who organize the Impact, David Melchor, he's here speaking to us. He has a huge collection of basic lands and lands. He collects that. So he told us the price because he knows.
He must know, right? Oh, I remember. Yeah. I think I've actually seen that. Maybe he actually has a lot of Guru Lands.
Yeah, Mengo has a lot of cards.
David
David
as well. Yeah. You said Mengo.
No. Okay.
Yeah, Mengo also has a lot of cards. Yeah. He does like MTG Mengo Finance, right? He's like always buy, never sell.
Buy high, never sell.
Yeah. You can't lose money if you never sell. Is that how it works? Okay, so Ponder resolves. We are gonna go for the grief, and what are we gonna get there?
Here you know that you're not gonna get griefed back because the island is tapped. So what you take? Probably it depends. You have frog and this is on. Pedro has the swamp. No, has polluted delta. 2 frogs, a troll, and the last card I cannot recognize. The second from the right, it's probably the days is so. You have to take or the Unholy Heat or the days.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What is a better tempo play?
I don't mind taking either. It really, like as you mentioned, right, it very much depends on what he's got in hand.
And what the game plan is. I take the days.
Yeah, I like that. Of course, we also have to account for Cristobal is actually drawing 2 cards next turn.
Yeah, he's doing the bubble trick where you bubble on your opponent's turn so you see the top of your deck. And if it's a non-land card, you stack the trigger, or also a non-spell card, you draw the card first. And if not, you flip it with Delver.
Yeah.
So it's like having a 2-shot Delver flip.
Yeah, you go from like a, well, I don't know if it's a 50% chance, but if it is, you go to a 75% chance.
Yeah.
So you pick up a Wasteland.
Cristobal is doing something wrong. He's the Delver player, and the Delver has not flipped.
Maybe you should be playing a control deck.
Yeah. Cristobal told us he also made finals of a GP in Barcelona last year. And in Modern, he said he plays Blue-Red Murtad in Modern. And it was, I've been playing Ragavan turn 1 every game and connecting always on turn 2. So how to win your games? Like,
I'm going to subscribe to his Patreon then. Just going to be like, always get lucky. It's like, okay, that's a good start. And then if you play well, that helps. And
then for Nationals, he said that the Ragavan he also won with Blue-Red Mortar. I say this time it was not Ragavan, but I had turn 2 Delirium DRC every game. Like turn 1 Dragon Rage, turn 2 Dragon Rage, double bubble.
Easy game.
Yeah.
Okay, so Deva didn't flip. Now we go for our second basic land here, and that feels like it must be a frog. And I wonder, right? Are you gonna like protect the frog by discarding a bunch of stuff now?
He doesn't have Delirium yet, so you'd only have to discard 1 card to Unholy Heat.
I like that. Well, he's pretty close to Delirium.
So discarding 1 card to Unholy Heat is like trading even.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
a 1
fine.
for 1. And you actually you come out ahead, right? Because your frog is bigger now.
Yeah. So Cristobal is faking like he has something, but he likes to do this a lot. Like, I have this card, but sometimes I think it's not good to do this, because if you had the days, you would have played the days.
Yeah.
No chance you.
I think it's more like maybe I have Pyroblast and
But you also do the same. Also,
yeah, you actually I think you might wait. You'd be like, I don't know.
here you try to get Delirium. I think it's pretty easy. Okay, resolves.
You got that one passing back. Now we
Like,
got the Delver on the fetch land.
how much do you get from this show? How much advantage?
You lost a lot of time actually.
Yeah.
Like
so
if I'm Pedro, I'm trying to think what you can have. I can't really think of anything. So
it just.
yeah.
If you had the card, you would have played it.
Yeah. Like I can like try to come up with some obscure card, but even then, that's only cards that you would play. So yeah, that's like you say, probably like a waste of time.
Yeah. So the thing that you can try to fake is like he knows you have the force. You're thinking on, I'm gonna play the force or not, or yes or not. It's like. So I think we are trying to Mortite here.
Yeah, Delver didn't flip. Good chance that we just go straight.
You
for
play the
Mortite.
Mortite for full value, or you play it for with holding up for days. If you play to Mortite, I think you have to respect days.
Yeah. That's such an important card. Yeah. You do that.
Okay.
Just
and
like
then
take all of
you
that
keep
out.
The bubble. No, you take everything. And now we are in a race situation of the. I will here just you attack with frog, doesn't give it flying, and if your opponent blocks with Mortite, you just discard almost anything. Or
And then
the heat maybe punish you.
I was gonna say maybe there's like a way for heat to punish you, but then you can maybe daze the heat in this spot.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
I like that magic is interesting.
Yeah. The frog makes games boring, but when it's interesting, it's very interesting. Those games.
You know, we talked about this on the podcast as well. My favorite part of the mistakes that you have to make against frog is like the frog attacks you. You think about all the scenarios. You figure out, okay, I just don't have any good blocks. Okay, no blocks. And the opponent like, discard my hand, you're dead. Like, oh yeah, that was another scenario. I didn't think of that. You can just like discard 7 cards, attack me for 8, dead. And meanwhile, you try to find like the great block that's just
Here
not there.
Ponder is free, and for example, using Troll for Surveillant and bottoming the card is also free on the. No, not that free. To say the truth. Probably you have to attack first before doing any plays. To have you can search for the land, and doesn't matter. But
yeah, that doesn't make a difference really.
But you give away information.
Yeah.
So you can cast another frog. Maybe the plan is to have another frog on board, and just try to double crack them.
Let's here we go. Second
Double
frog.
And does not attack.
Yeah, he's got Baleful Strix in hand. Is it Baleful Strix? It is
Yes.
Baleful Strix.
Ooh.
Oh, spicy card.
2015.
Tech. Yeah. I mean, that's probably gonna get well, if it ends up being destroyed by Unholy Heat, it still feels good, right? Your upper card. Well, that's something. Decklists are going to be on actually all the social media pages. We don't have... Actually, maybe my colleagues are working getting them up right now. Otherwise, they're going to be there later today. So check out twitter.com/impactreturns1, the number. Or on Instagram, it's just like straight up Instagram.com/impactreturns. We're going to have all of those decklists up at least by tomorrow, I want to say. So you can check all of those out there. So nothing really happens on Cristobal's side. Pedro draws another card. That feels like a brainstorm. I don't even know what else. Oh, Ponder. Okay, yeah. Like people have a way of tapping their single island in a way that makes you feel like there's a cantrip coming out. Anything sweet? Like right now, they're kind of neutralizing each other. And by the way, the Delver still hasn't flipped. Like we've gone through, I think, a bobble and then like several fetch lands. It's just like, oh, well, no.
Also, every time the Delver doesn't flip, you know your opponent hasn't drawn a good card. And that hurts a lot.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, and you can actually make it out pretty well because it's also not a Dragon Rage channel that was drawn. There were no additional Delvers drawn. There's few cards the opponent can draw here, like probably mostly like lands that are bad, as you mentioned, and not so much else.
Oof, playing land before attacking. I don't like that.
You know what we say in German? Erst hauen, dann bauen. First you strike, then you build. Okay, gonna
bounce Merc.
Bounce that Merc Regent. Is that gonna give us
Wasteland.
another long bluff? Looks like it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, am I really gonna do this?
Maybe we should bluff more. Cristobal wins a lot.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking about that when you mentioned it earlier, right?
Maybe that's the trick. Okay, Froggy time.
Oh, dude, if you get to draw 2 cards there, that feels so good. Give it to me, yes. Oh, animate that, sure. Oh, there's another game plan in there. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Nothing really great to... And actually, there should be... No, the troll is removed. Okay, never mind. Is there a second troll? No.
No, it's a grief. Yeah, it's a second troll there.
So, passing back to Cristobal. Wait, can you... Like, Deva still hasn't flipped? This is one of those dysfunctional ones. They have to be returned to the factory.
Yeah.
Like, try resetting to factory settings, and if that doesn't work, send it back to the producer.
You have to go to the seller and say, this Delver,
Yeah.
trade it for another one.
They're like, I'm so sorry, you're gonna get a better one.
I think this is how you win or lose matches. Your Delvers always flip, your Delvers never flip. I remember a game like playing Pauper in a mirror of a topic of a challenge. Like, you know, Augur of Bolas? So my opponent hit all 3 times with his Augur of Bolas for cards, and I missed all 3 times.
You missed on 3 Augur of Bolas.
Yes, and so that's how you lose games.
Yeah, that's
your opponent plays a 1/3 that gets value, and you
play
play
a
a 1/3 that just look at the top 3 cards.
It's like, oh yes, show it to me.
Sometimes. How much luck you need to win a game?
I wonder how many frogs we're gonna see by the end of this game.
The other day at locals, one player had in play.
Oh, you really made it one of the opponents.
Yes.
Oh God, this reminds me of the Siege Rhino days in Standard.
Yeah. All the rhinos.
Rhino time. By the way, what are those sleeves that Pedro is using? It says like European champion or something. European winner. It must be something like...
I think Pedro is from Portugal, so I don't know. Maybe they have his own legacy league.
That could be it. Because it's also like a Mox Diamond, right? You would think it's like something legacy related.
Maybe pre-modern.
Maybe
this is the guy who won the pre-modern tournament 1 week back with the green, red Terrageddon Ponza deck. Okay, I saw the list.
Ponza deck's awesome. Okay, so...
The deck is pretty good in pre-modern.
Okay.
It plays like Port, Wastelands, Sphere of Resistance, and 10 Stone Rains.
The thing is, like, I love pre-modern. Absolutely love pre-modern. I just always get the impression that Elves is completely broken and nobody talks about it. But maybe I'm wrong.
Elf is... Also, the truth about Elf probably is broken, but only Pablo wins with Elf.
Yeah.
You see always the same person winning.
Yeah.
So
Pablo Suarez, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to know how good a deck is when only one player does well with it.
Okay, that's true. That's true. I only played it once, like at a locals kind of. I borrowed it, and I think somebody else was playing like Madness, and I felt like this is like completely 2 different formats. Like you play Mild Mongrel and Arrogant Worm, and I have Cradle. Like what is the difference here? But yeah, I from actively playing, I have a very small.
Okay, now you have an interesting situation. The Delver and the Frog is blocking a Frog, so now you have to choose how many cards you discard to your Frog. Like I discard this. This remembers in the old times of the Lightning Storm battles. Like I have a land. I have one more. I have one more.
Oh God! Oh my God, dude! That one that we used in Modern for the ad nauseam kills and everything. Oh my God! Oh no. Dude, I hated those mirror matches also. Like, the mirror matches were crazy. They came down to, like, Simeon Spriggan. Anyway, so both players ready to throw a lot into their frog to support it.
Cristobal still has unholy heat, so it can end up mattering that. So now they are
order the
ordering.
blockers.
You see here that Cristobal plays Magic Online because before damage he says, yeah, we have to order blockers because now it matters. That's something that you in paper doesn't do, but in Magic Online you get used to. Yeah, this has to work because.
Let's see. So I don't know who's. I guess the active player needs to be first to move, which would be like Pedro, who's attacking. So I mean, right now the way things work, Pedro probably doesn't like that. So maybe he's gonna start discarding something here.
Pedro discards a card, then Parrot discards a card, then Pedro discards a card, then Parrot can unholy heat.
But he doesn't have Delirium, right?
No, but then at the end everything dies and Pedro draws one card and has still a bad spot for Cristobal because
he's still facing a frog, right?
Yes, he's still facing a frog and Cristobal will lose all his hand and Pedro will have still the card from the frog and 2 cards in hand. Like I discard my 2 worst cards and still have the random card plus my 2 best cards. So not a great spot for.
So he's like, which way do you want to order? Oh, they're still ordering.
No, maybe no. To kill in the second frog, he has to discard 2 cards. So he will keep the best card on the random card. That's still fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He has to discard 3 cards. It's still fine. 3 cards. And then usually the player who has the most cards in hand usually wins those wards.
That's the kind of deep insight.
yeah, it's like
you got more cards in hand. Yeah, that's like a pretty good spot to win it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're like asking. No, it looks like Pedro's actually actively thinking, so there's not a judge call going on anymore.
1, 2.
Pedro's like, which cards do I actually want to keep?
Yeah. Pedro has a land, so discarding that Underground Sea is free right now.
Pretty free, yeah.
So you just discard the Underground Sea, and then Cristobal has to move because the frog is at 2.
Would turn into a 2/3 and basically survive.
Basically survive, so you just trade. Also, if you want to kill Cristobal's frog, you have to discard 2 cards.
Yeah. This is not only blocker math, this is also advanced blocker math. So if you go to university, this is like the 2nd level course you take. This is dynamic power and toughness on one of the attackers. Actually on an attacker and a blocker.
The double block. How many players don't know how to double block?
No, I guess a lot. I think a lot of people just don't think about it.
Yeah, this never happens.
Yeah. I think a lot of people might know how it works, but they never even consider it because it's just like so in your head, 1 creature, 1 block.
Okay, now Cristobal and Hali hits, but that doesn't do much. It doesn't only makes that he has to waste another card from his hand.
Oh, he doesn't respawn. So yeah, you just like discard 1 more card.
Yes, and that's it. Yeah, discard this. So and Hali hits. So the frog is gonna die, probably. So it has 1 counter on Hali hit resolves. It has 2 damage on it.
And then the second activation resolves, and it gets like another counter.
It gets another counter. So now is resolves.
Okay,
So
just
now
like move the dice to 2, please.
So now this is a trade for all the board, which is fine.
Right now it is, yeah.
So there's
and Cristobal basically can decide, is my last card worse than your worst card? Then I'm just going to discard that, and you also have to discard 1 more card. Honestly, this looks like pretty good for Pedro. He's also sitting on that animate dead and another frog, and he's going to draw a card. This looks really good.
You probably just let everything resolve and take the trade for.
Yeah,
and then you traded your frog and 2 cards for Delver, frog, and unholy heat, which is fine. Oh. Okay, we are going deep into 1 more card.
But that should be like a 3, right? Because we also discarded the Underground Sea to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
3. Now it's or frog survives, and Cristobal has to discard their last card,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Pedro's basically saying, I discard my frog because I want to get that last card out of your hand. Otherwise, if it's that good, you keep it and I keep my frog. Oh, it's a wasteland. That's not very good.
I think you have to discard because your card is less value of the last card of Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay. And here the thing is that Pedro will end with a frog and a second frog, and Cristobal only has one card. So I think keeping double frog and a huge frog is better than.
So you're saying you discard the enemy
I
card?
discard the card.
Yeah.
And so 2 damage. They're the double and triple checking. That's so 1, 2, 3. That's 5 damage, and
oh
then
yeah.
so
Cristobal is dropping to 13 on this attack, and then there's a lot of damage coming his way the following turn. And Pedro's still drawing a card.
and so this was solved pretty easy from the start with the information, because Pedro also had the information about the Holy Heat. So
also, Pedro, by the way, has the Brazen Borrower on his red shot.
That's a lot of draws a card.
Yeah. Yeah, just packs it in. No way to still win this.
Okay.
We're cutting back to the bracket, so let's